Thank you so much. Happy Sunday, everybody. It is Sunday, the 3rd of October. It's the first Sunday of October. The last few days have been a bit cold. You can feel the winter months drawing near as we come out of summer, slightly coming out of summer. I've got a few more hot days to come yet, as I've just seen in the weather forecast. I think after Tuesday. I am the prodigious, the prominent Professor Johnson at Proclamation News and Gatherence. I'm also a very, very valuable Conservative member. Why am I a Conservative member? Because for generations and generations, they have been exactly what it says in the tin, traditional. They're bona fide as well. They're very genuine. I like traditional values. I don't know about you lot. I like change, but not too much drastic change. You've got to have good values for me to want to vote in. And what Conservative are doing at the moment, better infrastructure, we cannot grumble. I've seen so much infrastructure which I've posted. I make post notes, I post things on social media. I influence other people to get involved in shaping up Britain. More police, more NHS workers, bigger and better infrastructure all round. In my constituency of Colchester, Essex, we've got loads to look forward to as a community, as a whole. Bigger infrastructure, the garden community, which we'll be talking about in a few moments. A few things that I want to address, which I've been supporting people with a few of their own provocations by social media. I see one of my friends had a child bullied at school. Bullying. Teachers not making examples enough of the bullies and setting a example, taking them out of the class or sticking them in isolation away from the child that they're bullying. Sometimes a teacher doesn't cooperate with your evidence given to them. Child comes home, in tears. It's happened in my local area. Children being bullied, and the child jumped off the bridge onto the train track and took their own life. So bullying is a big subject area we need to address. So I'm going to give you some advice, things to do. Obviously, address with the teacher. So, if your child's come home not happy, if your child's not coming home with the usual bubbly self, something's playing on your child's mind. You need to proact. Work out what's on your child's mind. See what's up. See what the provocation is. Provocation shared is a provocation halved. Absolutely. You need to know and address your child's morale. The morale she or he brings home. Does it look distressed from school, from learning? Speak to the teacher. If the teacher doesn't proact with the protocol that you've gone with your principal set out, your child being bullied and taken away from the child that's bullying her, then go to the head teacher. The next week, if your child goes to school and comes back, the same thing is happening, you go back in your principal's office, or you can contact the police. But furthermore, you can go back to the principal office and say, I am taking my child out till this is dealt with. I want it in written consent. I'm sick to the back of my teeth. Your voice and your opinion matters. You need to speak out. If you are a bit of there are parents who are pretty shy, don't want to cause a scene. Speak to someone that may be able to support your local MP, or someone maybe within your church community might help you. Speak to somebody that could stand in and support you through your circumstances before you lose out on a sibling. Absolutely. Other areas I've been trying to tackle: knife crime. We see the police are trying to do a major job for our communities, put in their bins and always going in and out of schools, trying to influence children of today, youth of today, not to carry weapons. Cowards carry weapons. Again, in my constituency, someone else has been stabbed in Clacton-on-Sea, in the town centre. Why do people feel the need to pick up a blade and take it out in the street? I do not know. I don't walk out the door no other than my backpack and a walking stick in the winter when I become deteriorated through my secondary Raynaud's disease in my Achilles and my hands. But would I ever use it? Good afternoon, Supercell. Oh, excellent. Nice to see you come through, Supercell. To see you here, girl. Lovely to see you. Nice to have the support. Yeah, so I'm join the Conservative Club. I hope to get some like-minded people to jump over on board as well. Help us all shape up, not just Britain, if you're in the US or Canada. It's, you know, the Conservatives over there, the traditional values over there. Why not get yourself involved? Help shape up your country. What needs to change? We've got potholes. We've got potholes in areas. We've got rubbish in urban areas that need sorting out. Can the council provide skips for the really run-down urban areas, perhaps? These things that we need to address and support one another to get this ball rolling. We need people like-minded, like myself, with critical ideas. How can we tackle these problems? Also, homelessness is a massive thing in every constituency, every state province, every country. Homelessness. How can we tackle homelessness? Some people just want to be homelessness just for the sake of, you know, I think it's more of a courage thing and losing their dignity that they want to be homeless. A lot of people I know a few. I've worked for a homeless shelter and I see it. They don't want to be felt like they're made a subject to living in a homeless shelter, or, you know, so they go and live on the street. But anyway, on May the 5th, we have local elections in the United Kingdom. It will be held on the 5th of May. These will include elections for all London Borough Councils and for all local authorities in Wales and Scotland. Most seats in England was last up for election in 2018 and in Scotland and in Wales in 2017. Another drastic thing that we could change in our local areas is stop non-essential shoppers driving into the town centre or city centre. We've got public transport, make them use it. Why are you going to waste £3-4 quid trying to park in town where you can get on a bus for £3-4 quid from where you live? You know, you're trying to save pollution. Industrialisation, like the shopping centres, you know, they've got their pollution of people littering and whatever. They don't need to get the, you know, CO2 emissions up as well while you're walking around town centre. You don't need to drive to the town centre for non-essential shopping. I mean, it's shouted out all over the media. Enough. It's about time people took it into a perspective and think, I know, I'm going to get on local transport today. It will save time for parking up, save fuel, it will save wear and tear on your vehicle. It's like, in the long run, it's going to save a lot of money. Because just to jump on the bus, you're not losing any of your pride, you're not losing your dignity. Just jump on the bus. Ain't the end of the world. It really isn't. You can get on a bus, if you get something like a TV or a wardrobe, get it delivered. You don't need to pick it up there and then, or get a local taxi to drop it back to your house if you're that desperate to take it home. Anyway, looking at the background for the local election, most seats in England up to election 2022 were last elected in 2018. The exceptions are local authorities which have undergone recent boundary reviews. In the 2018 local elections, Labour made gains in London at the expense of Conservatives, and the Conservatives made gains in the rest of England at the expense of United Kingdom Independence Party, UKIP. Few council changed overall control. Overall, UKIP lost 237 seats of the 240 seats it held before the elections. According to the BBC analysts, the results reflect a national political situation with Labour and Conservatives neck and neck. County councils are elected in full every 4 years, with the last election having been 2021. Council elections are upper of the two-tier system of local government, with the area of each council covers subdivided into district councils with different responsibilities. These are first part, the post elections, with a mixture of single member and multi-member electoral divisions All county councils were due to be elected in 2021. However, due to constellations about possible unitarisation, elections of 3 county councils were postponed to 2022. Should the county council still exist at that time, the government has announced plans to replace the councils on a unitary authorities pending parliamentary approval. I'm gonna go on, but you've got the London boroughs up for vote. Barkham, Dagenham, Barnet, Bexley, Brent, Bromley, Camden, Croydon, Ealing, Enfield, Greenwich, Hackney, Hammersmith, Hamley, Harrow, Havering, Hilden, Hounslow, Islington, Kensington and Chelsea, Kingston, Upton, Times, Lambeth, Lewisham, Merton, Newham, Redbridge, Richmond, Uptowns, Southwark, Sutton, Tower Hamlets, Waltham Forest, Wandsworth and Westminster. There is so much I could go through which needs to be changed, and us lot could make a difference if we all get involved. Absolutely. What does Conservative stand for? A bit like the Republicans in America, I believe, and Canada. Exactly the same values. We are traditional, very traditional, been going for generations and genuine. Conservative is a type of political belief that supports and emphasises on traditions and relies on individual to maintain society. The term is associated with right-wing politics. It has been used to describe a wide range of views. Tories' beliefs are ethos. Ethos is a word I use all the time. Ethos. Supporting all multicultural religions. Ethos, we all share one God. Fiducia Khatum Bakam, the world is one big family. Ethos has been summed up with the phrase God, Queen and country. Tories are generally monarchists, were historically a high church Anglican religious heritage and oppose the liberalism of the wing faction. Typically, Tories defend the ideas of hierarchy, nature, order and aristocracy. Just giving you some of the values of what our party stand for. It's absolutely a neoliberalism government. It's fair to say it's a neoliberalism government, fair trade system, straight down the middle. I say it all the time. Obviously, you know, I've got my own cognitive skills, what I believe our party politics stands for. Everyone's got their own opinion on politics. How you doing, Subcell? Nice to see you come through, my friend. Nice to have some moral support, my friends. Do you know what? I don't get paid. I don't get paid for doing this. It actually costs me money because I use a multimedia stream which goes onto Facebook and YouTube. It costs me £10 a month to speak live. You know, I do work hard. I'm not paid. I'm not anointed a seat, part of the politics campaign. I'm trying to get there with a bit of local support and people that will believe in me. 7 principles of conservatism. Individual freedom. The birth of a great nation was inspired by the bold declaration that individual God-given liberties should be preserved against government intrusion. Limited government. The rule of law. Peace through strength. Fiscal responsibility. Free markets. Human dignity. Join our Conservatives today to become part of shaping up Britain, the most longest standing genuine government policy still standing strong. We thrive off traditional values and we want to make change. Another thing I'd like to address, people that are doing a 9 to 5 job, you get to my age, like in your 40s, you think, I could have another 30 years working life if you're doing manual work, but you wouldn't be able to, would you? The next 30 years doing manual work, could you do that till you're 70 years of age? As much as you want to keep fit and keep busy, you need to be thinking ahead. Sitting in an office, you could easily do another 20, 30 years, couldn't you? Helping the society build back better. You know, there's in my country, in the UK, Supercell might be different for your government policies. There are organisations that help adults back into adult learning. adult learning, such as doing different computer courses. Maybe you want to be HGV driver, heavy goods vehicle, or LGV, long goods vehicle. I'm not sure what the bus license comes under. I don't know if it's PGV, people, goods, vehicle, perhaps something like that. I'm not sure, but yeah, there's all these different courses they can put you through to better your well-being, better your mental health, better your stability, and better your wealth. To be healthy in life, to be wealthy in life, you need to be healthy. So you need to make that change now. Make your priorities and sacrifice the job you're in. If it means you're going to have to do a pay cut for 3 to 6 months till you get your education, it's well worth doing it. Well worth to take a year out, do your adult learning, and get where you need to get in life. It's no point struggling off your, how can I say this, struggling off your nuts for the rest of your life, putting a strain on your body. Think for the rest of your future. 30 years of working life is a lot if you're in a manual position, and it's going to deteriorate your body in the long run. So think for the future. It's Grandparents' Day today, ladies and gents. Grandparents' Day. I do want to give you a quick read of the Bible today. It's the first Sunday of the month. Where is it? Where is it? There's a story I put down. Here we go. The Corinthians. Did I put it down? No, I didn't. Oh, no, I didn't put it down. It's a shame. I can play it though. You should be able to hear it still. Let's have a look. If I play it, you should be able to hear it. Story from the Corinthians today. No, we can't hear
it. Chapter 11, verse 12 or something. But anyway, I've found the chapter and it's brought the grade out.
I hope you can hear it.
Really quite significant. Now, if the foot should say,
no, it's not loud enough. We're going to leave that. Sorry. I was going to. Actually, I've got it on my phone. I'll read it out to you. That'd be better. I've got it on my phone. Sorry about it, ladies and gents. Trying to run a nice, smooth show. Something significant come up in the Corinthians today. I think it is verse 11, chapter 12, perhaps, in the Corinthians, in the church. I'm a Christian. Doesn't matter what, your religion. I'm very, I support ethos, multiculturalism. Now, if the foot should say, because I'm not a hand, I do not belong to the body, it would not, for that reason, stop being part of the body. And if your ear should say, because I'm not an eye, I do not belong to the body, it would not, for the reason, stop being part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where should the sense of hearing be? If the whole body were an ear, where would the sense of smell be? But in fact, God has placed all the body parts, every one of them, just as He wants them to be. If they're all one part, there would be one. They would be. Where would the body be? As it is, there are many parts, but one body. The eye cannot say to the hand, I don't need you. And the head cannot say to the feet, I don't need you. On the contrary, those parts of the body that seem to be weaker are indispensable. And the parts that we think are less honourable, we treat with special honour. And the parts that are unpresentable are treated with special modesty. While our presentable parts need no special treatment, but God has put the body together, giving greater honour to the parts that lacked it, so that there should be no division in the body, but that its parts should have equal concern for each other. If one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part is honoured, every part rejoices with it. Basically, every part on your body has got a reason to be there. You need to look after it. So, I like to say I'm well maintained, but I get injuries. I get an injury in my shoulder, and that can make me feel drowsy, make me feel sleepy, make me feel in pain. And exactly what I'm saying there. Every organ on your body has a reason to be occupied. it's an occupation for your part of the body, isn't it? Your feet are there to help you stand, agility, move, walk, run as well. But if you pull your muscle in your quad or hamstring, your foot is not going to be moving as good. So that it's all joined to one body. It's all joined to one body. When one thing is down, the whole of your morale could be down. So this is why we need to build back better. Get involved. Get involved with the party politics. People think, politics this, politics that. But if you get involved, you can learn the rule of law and principles of protecting your own children, your family, your parents as well. Helping your parents. You want better infrastructure to make sure your parents can get a new hip replacement or a new heart replacement. You know, you need to get involved. Get yourself involved. Anyway, Conservative Conference. UK in period of adjustment after Brexit, says PM. Boris Johnson says the UK is in a period of adjustment after Brexit and COVID as the country faces petrol shortages and supply chain issues. A lack of HGV drivers, high demand plunged the UK into a fuel crisis last week with lengthy queues and closures. I was just saying that the councils are opting for these, free HGV license courses if you're on a low income on benefits and you've got no savings. Worries persist about the cost of living as food and energy price rises, alongside cuts to universal credit. But the PM insisted he's long planned for a higher wage, higher skilled economy and offer a long-term solution. Speaking to the BBC's Andrew Marr on a first day of Conservative Conference, Mr Johnson said there will be a period of adjustment, but that is what I think we need to see. He would not say if supply issues would affect Christmas, but later told reporters he was very confident the festive season would be considerably better than last year. A few thousand people held an anti-government outside the event of Manchester on Sunday, where the Tories will be hosting party members until Wednesday. The PM also refused to rule out raising taxes again just 3 weeks before Chancellor Rishi Sunak announces his annual budget. He said he was a zealous opponent of unnecessary tax rises, but warned the pandemic had hit the UK's economy like a fiscal meteorite. Last month, the government announced it would be raising national insurance to pay for health and social care. At the time, when asked whether he could rule out the additional taxes, Mr Johnson said he could give an emotional commitment that he didn't want to induce further issues. Earlier this year, Mr Sunak also froze income tax household thresholds, leading to more people paying the levy, and an extra £20 weekly universal credit payment brought in during the pandemic is due to end this week. Asked on Sunday by Andrew Marr if he would raise tax again, Mr Johnson replied, "If I can possibly avoid it, I do not want to raise taxes again." Prime Minister has added, "I can tell you that you have no fiercer and more zealous opponent of unnecessary tax rise than me, but we have to deal with a pandemic on a scale which the country has not seen in our lifetimes and long before. We don't want to raise taxes, and of course we don't, but we will not do this is be irresponsible with the public finances. We are a low tax party. Cabinet members are warning against any further tax increases, with Leader of the House Jacob Rees-Mogg telling the party conference Fringe event the tax is about the highest level it has been since the war. And we are at the upper reaches of responsibleness of tax burden. He added we're about the limit of what tax we can raise. Tees Valley Tory Mayor Ben Houchin also called the PM to avoid further tax rises, saying it would not be helpful for business coming out of the pandemic. Speaking to the BBC News at the conference, he said, "I appreciate his difficult job being a Prime Minister and Chancellor to balance the books. But if we want to support those businesses to create those jobs, to put more money in people's pockets, I don't think tax rises are the way to go about it. Foreign Secretary Liz Truss insisted the government did not want to put additional tax burden on working people, saying growing economy would pay the bill from COVID. She told the BBC, none of us want to see tax rise. And we are a low tax party. We understand that it is enterprise that is going to deliver the opportunities, and we need to keep the tax burden low at the same time as growing our economy. Asked about job shortage and supply issues in shops and petrol forecourts, the PM insisted the lack of lorry drivers affecting delivered goods was not just a UK issue, claiming the United States and China were seeing familiar problems, as well as some countries in Europe. And he said the petrol shortage were very largely driven by demand, adding I understand people's frustrations and I understand how infuriating it is when you turn up and you can't get any. But we are making sure we have supplementary drivers where necessary. Mr. Johnson called out those who wanted to go back to the tried, failed old model of reaching for levy called uncontrolled immigration to bring people into the country to fill the gaps. But he did not reject comments made by Mr. Sunak. He was told Daily Mail that very real shortage could affect Christmas. Insisted the PM said the country was going through a period of adjustment post-Brexit, needing to look to the future of better paid, better skilled jobs for British people. Mr. Johnson added, what we had for decades was a system whereby sectors like the road haulage industry were not investing in the truck stops, not improving conditions, not improving pay, and relied on very hard working people who are willing to come in, largely from European accession countries, to do that work under those conditions. I'd like to address, obviously I was talking about HGV, LGV, and I think it's PGV, people, whatever it's called, for the people, people goods vehicle, which I think, my old man was a bus driver. Now my friend is looking at doing his, she's got his medical in a week. So, got to give a good pat on the back for those people. They've got people's lives at risk. Even carrying petrol, driving a HGV or LGV lorry with petrol tankers on the back. You have an accident, the whole M25 could be ablaze. You could probably ablaze about 60 cars. Even more if you come to a congestion. Imagine you've got congestion on 25, petrol tanker turns over, spills. You've got everyone's life at risk. That is a big, big job to be getting involved in. When people voted for change in 2016 over Brexit, and when people voted for change in 2019, they voted for the end of a broken model of the UK economy that relied on low wages and low skill and chronic low productivity, and we are moving away from that. What's been happening to wages? Andrew Marr and Boris Johnson argued about what's happening to the average wage, with the Prime Minister saying we're finally seeing growth in wages after more than 10 years of flatlining. But Andrew Marr saying in real terms, over the last 3 months, wages have gone down, not up. So what's been happening? Real wages, a measure that takes account of rising prices, peaked just before the financial crash in 2008 and only returned to that level in August 2020. So it's been for a decade little improvement overall, rather than a flatlining, as Mr. Johnson claimed. It was actually roughly 5 years of falls, followed by growth over most of the last 5 years. Last year saw record dips and jumps as the economy was shut down and then reopened. But the most recent figures of the Office of National Statistics suggest the growth must be stalling, with real wages looking lower in July than they were in April. It's hard to tell I was looking at the wages going from the start of 220, they went up slightly, and as we progress throughout the year, they've gone down slightly. So yeah, exactly right. I just want to talk about the garden community, what's happening in our constituency and culture. The 10 Borough Board of Garden Communities project in Tendring District Council, Colchester Borough Council and Essex County Council. It is planned a new community which will be sustainable and attractive place to live, work and visit. It's based on garden community principles. The garden community will provide new housing and job opportunities. There will be national infrastructure, such as new link roads between the A120 and A133, and a new rapid transit system for new and existing residents. Development will take place over many years, with infrastructure first, approach to delivery. This will see key facilities and services provided alongside the new homes. There's going to be hospitals, new doctors, new schools. Tendring District Council Boroughs community is part of the long-term vision of the council to help meet the future growth of the area in a more strategic way. The principles and charter underpinning the Tendring Colchester Borders Garden Community were originally developed as part of the wider project to propose 3 garden communities across North Essex. We will modify this charter in time, specifically for the Tendring Colchester Borders Garden Community as the plans evolve. The original garden document for reference can be viewed on the Garden Community website. Please have a look. If you're in your Colchester constituency, if you want to have a little look, it could be a lot. There's going to be a lot of jobs up and coming. If it hasn't started with the roads yet, I'm not sure if it's even been thought of about being started, or if it's started already. Could well be. So worth having a look at what is in the future to come with jobs. Put it this way: if you want to be a doctor, it might be worth doing your doctor referral university application now. N25 Insulate Britain protests. Selfish protesters who block motorways could face 6 months in prison and unlimited fines. Protests have caused massive amounts of disruption of some of the UK's busiest roads. Fancy doing a protest on the M25. What a bunch of lunatics. The government has pledged to introduce tougher punishments for those who block highways after weeks of protests of some of the UK's busiest motorways. At the Conservative conference in Manchester, Home Secretary Priti Patel will warn the protesters who will block the highway could face unlimited fines and up to 6 months in jail. Police are also to be given the powers to stop and search activists for look on equipment used to prevent them from being moved. The move follows days of protest by the Insulate Britain group, which has staged sit-down demonstrations on a series of key arteries around London, including Essex M25, as well as the M1, M4. The government obtained a fresh junction banning the group from obstructing traffic and access to motorways and to major A roads in and around the capital. The new powers to be announced by Ms Patel will be included by the police crime courts and sentence bill currently going through Parliament. Ministers argue that while they accept the right to protest, the current offence of obstructing the highway, which carries a maximum fine of £1,000, does not reflect the seriousness of the disruption such as action caused. Ahead of the conference speech, Ms Patel said, "The right to protest is a fundamental principle of our democracy, but we will not tolerate guerrilla tactics that obstruct people going about their day-to-day business." Prime Minister Boris Johnson added, "The government will always stand on the side of the law-abiding majority and ensure the toughest penalties possible for criminals who deliberately bring major roads to a standstill. We'll give the police the powers they need to stop their reckless, selfish behaviour." It is absolutely horrific behaviour. It's stopping people from working. It's stopping people from getting to school, stopping people from getting to hospital appointments. It could be stopping someone from saving someone's life, like the NHS, for instance. I just want to say I'm overwhelmed with people coming through supporting the show. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in. I'm just trying to end the stream. I really am overwhelmed. Happy Sunday. I hope you have a wondrous week. Ladies and gents, it's Proclamation News Gatherence. I want to say take care, God bless, one love, and speak soon. Make sure you follow us, become part of the Aristocracy Social Elite. Take care. One love. And see you hopefully again, same sort of time tomorrow.